everybody, Ron here. Just wanted to talk about the Rise of Red Skull expansion box, which is coming up here in September. I think it's going to be early September. I'm really excited about it, and I want to talk about the 5 things that I'm excited for in no particular order. Well, actually kind of in order. There are 4 things that are definitely coming in, and a 5th one that is more of a wish, but I'll talk about it. So the first thing I want to talk about is the campaign. Up to this point, we don't have a campaign in Marvel Champions. We have a loosely tied together set of scenarios from the core box, going from Rhino to Claw to Ultron. From what I understand, it is not as tight of a campaign as other LCGs Fantasy Flight put out. I'm looking at you, Arkham Horror. And it's going to be really cool finally having a campaign for Marvel Champions, even if it is not as tightly designed or tightly knit as the Arkham Horror campaign. I'm still looking forward to telling a continuous story. Plus, it has a comic book in it. That's cool. The second thing I want to talk about is Red Skull's Side Scheme deck. Now, if you play the game, you know that there's a card called Advance that features Red Skull on it. And when you play this card, the villain schemes. In addition, there is an expert card called Master Plan, I think. Well, I'll show it up here. But anyway, the card adds 4 threat to each side scheme. Or if there's no side scheme, you go fishing in the deck until you find a side scheme. This pointed to the fact that Red Skull has side schemes going on. He's a master manipulator. And I think that this side scheme deck is going to be pretty cool. From what I understand from the interviewers, from the designers, that Red Skull is going to have this deck, and this deck is going to have about 6 or 7 side schemes. I think every turn he's going to be flipping a side scheme. So that is going to be really interesting. I'm looking forward to that. The reason why I'm looking forward to that is that side schemes really put a wrench in your plans. You know, you want to keep the main scheme down to a manageable level because you can lose the game if the main scheme completes. But the side schemes can add extra encounter cards, which can be a nuisance. They can accelerate the main scheme, or even worse, they can prevent you from dealing with the main scheme. That's the worst result of all, in my opinion. The next thing I want to talk about is Spider-Woman. Spider-Woman is a character that is going to be able to be played with 2 aspects at a time. That's going to be awesome. Her hero deck will have dual purpose cards. Most of her cards will be both Spider-Woman and individual aspect cards. So she has all 4 aspects represented in her hero deck. The possibilities are just bonkers, being able to play like aggression and leadership together, or aggression and justice, which is a good combination when you have 2 players playing anyway. It's just going to be amazing. When I heard that news, my mind was blown. And so is everybody else's. People are really, really excited about this. It's really funny that the characters that are not as popular because they haven't been around as long, or if they have, like in Spider-Woman's case, they just haven't gotten a lot of play. Those characters are turning out to be the most interesting characters design-wise. I think that that's pretty neat. The fourth thing I wanted to talk about is more villains. Right now, all we have is the 3 villains from the core set, the Wrecking Crew, and Green Goblin. Now, don't get me wrong. Green Goblin, particularly mutagen formula, is pretty fantastic. Claw is the most interesting villain in the game to play with that blends both theme and mechanics, particularly when you're playing with the Masters of Evil set. You have him being able to scheme pretty well. You have his attacking can always bring up a surprise, and that's pretty cool. And then you have the Masters of Evil, which is a minion set. You're guaranteed to have minions, so Claw's pretty interesting. But Rise of Red Skull will have 5 scenarios with 5 villains: Red Skull, Taskmaster, Absorbing Man, Crossbones, and Zola. So it's going to double the number of villains that are currently available to play. That's great because, quite frankly, the game needs that infusion of villains so that the replayability can increase manyfold. Finally, I want to talk about something that is just speculation and probably not going to happen, but it's a wish. More aspect cards. Well, of course, Hawkeye's going to have aspect cards. I think he's coming with leadership. And I think Spider-Woman is coming with aggression and justice. I'll correct that if that is not correct. But in the other hero expansion packs, you got cards for all of the other aspects. So say Captain America came with leadership. You also got a card for aggression, for justice, and for protection. What you would get is 3 copies of one card, and also a basic card that is not in his starter deck. I think that this box is big enough to, have enough cards to cover. So if we have leadership, aggression, and justice represented, then I'm hoping we get some protection cards and some basic cards that are not part of either Hawkeye or Spider-Woman's starter deck. But we'll see about that. More cards equals more deck building opportunities, which equals more lonely fun, as they call it. Thanks for sticking around, watch my video, and until next time, see you later.